Lauren and I had a pinky swear, and that happened probably for Lauren when she was just months old, but it really took me a few years to get on board with what she was here to do. And it was one time when we were in ICU, and she was very sick. We had just put her in a coma twice to stop the seizures, which I thought was, you know, a new all-time low. You're gonna put my daughter in a coma and flatten her brain out twice? It was devastating, but I really had to do some soul searching sitting by her side. And what I came up with was that I kind of figured that if she was here and she was going to be in this body, she obviously was sticking around. She wanted to be here. She wasn't complaining. For the most part, she was happy when she wasn't sick. So I really needed to look at what I'm doing. And I decided, at that time I promised her, I said, if you're in your body and you're in pain, pull yourself out of your body. Do what you do to help yourself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to love you, but I'm no longer going to feel sorry for you. I'm not going to expect you to be well. I'm not going to expect you to be normal. I'm just going to take care of you as you are and love you and support you and make you as comfortable as I can. And you decide if you want to stay, you stay. And if you're ready to go, I'm going to be okay. And I felt like on that day I became very empowered because it was just that pity thing for her that she didn't have a choice. But I think she was making that choice every day, staying here. And you know, the key was that Lauren was very comfortable with who she was. She was very happy. She was spoiled rotten. She was content. And I think she had a really good life. So I really had to look at how I was treating myself and how I was, you know, taking care of my spirit and how I was doing in life, because Lauren was totally fine. And once I kind of figured those things, I really had to look at what our soul agreement was. And it's my belief that Lauren came here and she picked me. And I think that that was a very brave thing for her to do. I think she came here and she picked this body that, you know, in our eyes didn't work and it didn't serve her. But she picked that body to teach me. And it wasn't only about me. I think she picked that body to teach others. And I believe that she taught compassion and she taught love and she taught forgiveness. So really I felt that I just felt so much love for her, and I was so proud to be part of her journey that I really felt like her commitment with God was one thing and my commitment was something else. But together we came, you know, to do our commitments, you know, interweaving. But I had to respect her agenda, and I really had to kind of figure out what my agenda was and meet in the middle. And I think it was a very powerful place because I had to have her responsible for doing what she was doing, and I had to be responsible for myself. So about the soul agreements, I just want to, I don't know if you've ever even thought about this, but I just want to have you think about what a soul agreement means. You know, why are we here and why are we in these bodies? You know, I thought a lot about that. So I just want you to kind of think when you see your child, you know, what is that child doing? Just be open to asking those questions. And how does your child feel about what's going on with them? You know, I think a lot of times we want everything to be perfect, so we work so hard, we really get caught up in what we want. And, you know, do you include your child in the decision making? Of course, at 2 months or 2 years or maybe 4 years old, that's a silly question. But as Lauren got older, I certainly had to ask her these questions and ask myself. And I think that I could talk all day about this, but are you suffering or is your child suffering? Because I think often we think our children are suffering and we're really suffering. And so it's a really soul-searching thing to ask, because, you know, I really knew that Lauren was okay, and I really felt she was in control. And so I had to really look at my pain, and I had to readdress the pain that I was feeling. And it was my suffering from my loss, my anticipation of what a healthy child would be. So I really had to look at that, and it really helped heal my heart. And I think it's a really important thing, because if we don't foster our spirits, we will suffer. And if we don't look kind of at the bigger lessons in life, it can create a lot of pain. And so I want to encourage you, you know, to just maybe think about these questions, because you can move to joy. And here is so important. Are you enjoying your child? Are you enjoying your life? Because I found myself, you know, caring for her, cleaning her, bathing her, everything. She kind of was sucking the life out of me some days. You know, I'm really honest about this. It was very difficult taking care of her and being her mother. But I had to also find those joyful moments. And so the payoff of her care had to be the joy. And so you really find the balance. And you can do that. And there's so much fun to be had.